Welcome to Bible Study That Doesn't Suck. This is the farm edition. That's what I'm going to call it. And this is Dave. Dave's my stepdad, and this is his farm. And you're a legitimate farmer, right?
Yes.
And Dave has agreed to let me ask him silly questions about parables in the Bible that involve farming stuff. Because a lot of times when we talk about the farming parables, people who aren't around farms don't always get them. And I think when you agreed to do this, you said you were willing to answer the questions honestly when you knew the answer and to make something up when you didn't. That sounds like you, right?
Yep. Not a problem.
Okay. So, I guess the first one I wanted to talk about comes from something we were talking about earlier today. So there's a parable in Mark's Gospel about a sower who sows seeds all over the place. And I always thought God is supposed to be the farmer in this story. And it says that God puts seeds in the good soil and in the rocks and in the desert and all. I just thought this was the dumbest farmer ever who's just like throwing the seeds all over the place. I couldn't figure out why you'd be putting seeds all over the place. But you were telling me today about how seeds, because it's specifically talking about corn in these texts, how the seeds can go across a road or can cross-pollinate to another area. Can you talk a little bit about what that is and what happens?
Not exactly what.
Well, why? So, for example, if you have a field that has soybeans in it, and your neighbor has corn across the way, why would you have some corn in your soybean field?
That was from the crop the year before.
That you had planted and then it come up?
Yep. And the year before it had cross-pollinated with his. But they were both cornfields.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next year we planted soybeans, yeah. But
So they can germinate. How does that happen that the corn germinates from?
The tassel
Mm-hmm.
is actually the male part of the plant.
So
And
that's the annoying part that gets stuck in your teeth when you eat the corn on the
No,
cob?
that's the silk. That's the female part.
Okay.
And the little yellow things or whatever, they come off at pollinating time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they come off the corn, off the tassel, and they come down on the silks, and that's what pollinates. And that's what, and every one of them little hairs goes to a kernel.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but one's the male part, one's the female part, and that's kind of what, yeah. And if it's too hot or whatever, yeah, you won't get a kernel.
But how do they get across the street?
Through the wind.
So the tassels
The
blow.
pollen
Mm-hmm.
off the tassels, yeah, through the wind.
And so corn could then, but does it have to be in a place where you've planted corn? Like, could you accidentally have corn growing in a rocky place when you've planted it well? I'm trying to figure out if in this story the sower who's getting seeds in the rocks is a bad planter. Or if there's something about what happens with corn that could make it.
He was throwing seeds wherever, I think, and how do I explain that? Some things grow better in certain places than other things.
Mm-hmm.
Some things like it wet, some things like it dry.
But there's still no reason you'd put corn in the rocks, right?
I wouldn't think so, but I guess if you had the rain and the conditions were right, yeah, it might work. It's
Well,
like here sometimes it's dry and some parts of the field do much better than other parts.
Right. Well, I was trying to give God an out in that story that he was a better planter, but I think it still sticks that the sower is not very good at planting.
Tell them how you grew potatoes in hay bales.
Oh yeah, in straw bales, yeah. Yeah, put potatoes in straw, or just lay them on the ground and throw straw over them, and yeah, the water and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of easy digging.
I bet. Just
No,
dust them off
no
to
dirt
you.
on the potatoes or nothing. Yeah, nice and clean.
So that parable doesn't work with potatoes.
Yeah, probably not.